anytime someone says something to me that I either find hard to believe or that I found to be untrue, I immediately start to press them. It's an impulse. Like, it's so easy to poke holes. You say something and I can just poke holes. Anybody can poke holes. Yeah, it's a lazy tactic. That's why I usually don't offer my views on things. I just hate being told what my motives are. I hate being told what I'm actually about. When I say, I don't disrespect you, and then I'm met with, yes you do. Oh. I can only take that response so many times before I go, oh, how silly of me, I must not know myself, or something like that. Like, yeah, it's facetious. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Then he says you're trying to push your views on me. How can I push my views on you if I haven't even told you my views? So yeah, I'm raking you over the coals, because when I hear that, I want to make sure that the person who's presenting what I'm thinking is untrue, I want to make sure that they've actually thought about it. Of course they've thought about it. That's what I expect other people to do to me, though. That's why I don't present my views. They'll slip out. I'm very candid. This all started, he was trying to assert the point that culture doesn't exist. It's some word we came up with to try to classify people. There's only one culture, and that's just humanity. And that's something he seems to believe very, very, very deep at his core. I found that to be untrue. The experiences offered in this world, the knowledge to be gained, is more than any one collection of people can pursue or hold or maintain or anything like that. It's not possible for two people to experience the same life. With a different experience is going to create values to deal with that experience. People with similar experiences are going to join them in those values, and they're going to develop those values and explore the ways to deal with it. When you have enough people, that's a culture, because now there's a tradition in handling those values from that experience. And if I've had a different experience, I'm going to have different values. So my culture is going to end up being different than your culture. And they may even be opposing cultures. We may end up coming to the opposite conclusion with the same information. Humans are so limited. To assume that humans have unlimited capacity for amalgamation or for understanding or acceptance or tolerance, it's stupid to suggest that humans are incapable of bias. Which, by the way, he said people develop their biases. You just contradicted yourself. Either we develop biases and then find reinforcement for our biases and therefore develop a culture, or culture doesn't exist. Cultural differences have nothing to do with ethnicity or race or geography or anything like that. It all has to do with shared value systems. That is it. I would say an overwhelming majority of the conflicts of all of humanity, all of history, at their core is a value system discrepancy. And the only reason for that value system discrepancy is that the needs and experiences of one group are different from the needs and experiences of another. Humans, who are finite creatures in our limited capacity, create mechanisms and systems for compensating, but we have a limited capacity. And so there's a very, very good chance of error in those systems. I'm not suggesting that humans never get anything right. But everything has error. Everything has a margin of error. And the larger your group, the more compounded that margin of error. You can have 10 people witness the exact same event and come out with 10 different stories. Never mind 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people, 1 million people. Do you honestly believe that you can bring the whole world together? The only way, this has been speculated in writing forever. It's a trope of science fiction. It's a trope of fantasy. It's a trope of any kind of cultural writings that humanity was united. But what was it in all of these works of fiction that united humanity? Well, usually a shared experience, usually an incredibly negative shared experience. Because the only thing that humanity can unite on is a simplistic shared value. And the more people, the more simplistic it has to be. It has to be something that's really, really core. The answer in all these stories is fear. Fear is how you unite people. Because when people do not live in fear, they explore themselves. And when you explore yourself, you take your own path. And when you take your own path, you diverge from others. Because people are different. That's a problem, because in allowing yourself to be free to explore your own path, you're also allowing other people to be free to explore their own paths, which those paths could be dangerous paths. You don't know. If another person chooses to explore their path and has the freedom to explore, they may end up being a dangerous person. There's no way to know. The only thing that unites people is a shared value. And when you get to a certain point, a certain number of people, the only shared value that you can guarantee is going to be fear. Because that base fear of the unknown is something that every single person, regardless of their experience, regardless of their value, fear of the unknown. You can figure out a way to communicate with animals, you could probably unite all life on the planet with a basic enough fear value. All working toward one cause: eliminate the threat. And this is why I'm so cynical of positive depictions of humanity. You want world peace? Make everyone afraid of the same thing.